The co-founder son of one of the most brutal terrorist group in existence became a Christian. This is absolutely incredible. The Hamas co-founder son is a Christian and a spy for Israel. And so when I saw his story, I knew I wanted to cover it. He's finally broken his silence on the war. And what he says is shocking about this group. Now, some of you are still like, well, no one would support Hamas. I had a preacher on my Instagram in support of Hamas, arguing back and forth with me about how they're performing military operations, which we know they're acts of terrorism. So I want to talk about Mosab Yousef's story, how he became a Christian, and I want you to listen to him breaking his silence on the war. This is going to be super interesting, so do not click off. Okay, here we go. We're going to watch this video, him breaking his silence. This is Mosab Yousef. It'll tell a little bit about his background, and then I want to share with you how he became a Christian and look a little bit into his story. But let's watch this here.
Thanks so much, Carly. Our next guest grew up on the West Bank, where his father was a founding member of Hamas.
So his father, listen to what he says, is a founding member of Hamas. Not just a member, one of the founders of this terrorist organization.
He was groomed to take a senior role before he turned on the terrorist group in prison. Spying for Israel now, converting to Christianity, and ultimately seeking asylum in the U.S. Mosab Hassan returns to us now, as he came a few years ago, and now we got more than ever. Mosab, it's great to see you. We'd love to know the insight of this group and how they were able to pull off what they did October 7th. First, can you tell the audience your background, people that didn't read your book?
I was born at the heart of Hamas leadership, and I know them very well. They don't care for the Palestinian people. They don't.
Very important to note for those that continue to say Hamas is fighting for Palestine, free Palestine. This is the co-founder's son. He was an insider. He says they don't care for the Palestinian people. This is what everyone's trying to say. The Hamas terrorist group does not care about people in Palestine. They hide in hospitals, hide in mosques, hide their weapons there, use civilians as human shields. They're absolutely, if I called them satanic, it would be being too nice to them. It's not even the fitting word. They're beyond satanic. And he says it here, they don't care about the Palestinian people.
The human life. And I saw their...
And I've said this before, if all the celebrities, all these demonic movements are for Hamas, probably the wrong side to be on.
Brutality firsthand back in 1996 when I spent about a year and a half in Megiddo prison. They killed so many Palestinian people at that time. And this is when I decided that I cannot be together with this movement. In fact, I asked myself a question. What if they become a ruling party at some point? What will they do? If they succeed in destroying Israel and building their state, what will they do? They will kill our people. And this was...
Which I want to give you guys just... The goal of Hamas is to build an Islamic state, is to kill everyone, every Jew, and to build an Islamic state. And they're ruling since 2005 in Gaza. And he's saying, what if they ruled Israel? What if they ruled all these places? What would they do?
Was the first question, that actually I had to be honest with myself. Even though Hamas gave me advantages, I was like a prince in that world. But I did not like them, and I turned against even my own blood, because this is how much I did not like Hamas. And today, 25 years later, they are the rulers of Gaza. And we see what they are capable of doing.
We saw what happened October 7th. We saw them do what they did to Holocaust victims. They have now over 200 hostages, murdered babies in their cribs, and we see the horror of what they're capable of. Now they've retreated back to Gaza, and a ground incursion is about to happen. Would you recommend Israel do this? And what will they find when they go in?
Okay, first of all, we need to evacuate civilians as much as we can. This is an ugly...
Again, remind you guys, this is the co-founder's son saying we need to evacuate, which is what Israel's been telling the civilians in Gaza, get out, get out, get out, evacuate. And he's echoing the same thing they're saying
to do. And Israel did not start it. Hamas did. First of all...
Let me back up 5 seconds there because I want you to note what he said there.
First of all, we need to evacuate...
He says that Israel did not start this war, Hamas did.
...civilians as much as we can. This is an ugly war, and Israel did not start it. Hamas did. First of all, we need to encourage civilians to go into Egypt, possibly women and children, maybe men over 50 years old. These need to get out of the picture. Then the strip need to be cut 2 pieces, north and south, 2 parts. The northern part, this is where most of the tunnels are. We need to have a solid siege, okay, for long enough to deplete the enemy and to starve them. After that, we may need to explore using gas. This is sounds horrible, but I don't see any other option. The tunnels are interconnected.
Yeah, I don't know as far as the Geneva Convention rules of war, if you're allowed to use gas. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to use any chemical warfare. The hard part is they don't play by any rules. So it's like, how do you fight someone that doesn't play by the rules? How do you fight someone that shoots babies in their cribs, beheads babies, kills the elderly, takes, in their plan says we're going to attack elementary schools? Like, how do you fight those type of people using the rules of war when they're not using the rules of war? So, man, it's a tough war.
Gas could be one of the solutions, but this has to be in the right time. We cannot just rush into Gaza. You know, there is no modern army that is prepared for this type of war. And most importantly, we need to get the civilians out of the picture. As long as there are civilians there, then the operation might be incomplete.
And this is coming from a guy that grew up in the West Bank, which we're going to find out later. He said he became a Hamas soldier because that's what all the young people are supposed to do. It was what he thought. So they're grooming these kids as they grow up to become Hamas terrorists and to become soldiers in these terrorist organizations.
But Mosab, you also say it's almost impossible for us to give aid to the Gaza Strip. $100 million we're about to give them and keep it away from home.
Which we are giving them. This is a little bit old, but yeah, everyone's really mad that Biden decided to give $100 million of aid to the people in Palestine because the terrorists are just going to take that aid. They're going to take over and take the aid.
Don't you agree that that can't work?
Look, after we destroy the tunnels, we need to finish Hamas rule in Gaza Strip. This is priority number one. Then we need to replace the regime. Could be the Palestinian Authority, could be the Egyptian government, could be Arab League force. We need to replace their rule in Gaza. After that, we can talk about aid. But as of now, sending any aid is a mistake.
So you also...
So he says sending any aid is a mistake. And if some of you are like, why do you keep pausing it? If I just play the video, it's copyright, so I have to pause it and give commentary to be able to use it for fair use. So just so you guys know why I'm giving some commentary
believe that this isn't about the Palestinians fighting for their rights and their sovereignty. What is the real mission of Hamas? And what do they really think of the Palestinian people?
Okay, what is the mission of Hamas? Pay close attention. Again, pastors on my Instagram are defending Hamas, which is mind-blowing, literally mind-blowing. So what is their mission, and what do they feel about, or how do they treat the Palestinian people? What do they feel about them?
You know, Hamas is not a national movement. Hamas is a religious movement with a goal to establish an Islamic state. They don't care for nationalism. Actually, they are against nationalism. With that said, my understanding that they are using the Palestinian cause only to achieve their goals, so the long-term goal, you know, transforming the Middle East and the world into an Islamic state. This is Hamas agendas. And
why are we supporting this? Why are some of you guys free Palestine? They're using that slogan. They're using that Palestinian slogan to promote their religious agenda, which is to make Gaza, Israel, an Islamic state. We can't conflate these two things. They don't care about the Palestinian people. They've already proved that time and time again, and it saddens me. And I know I have a lot of followers in Gaza and Palestine that are free Palestine, and I agree, free Palestine from the powers of Hamas. That's what they need to be freed from. That's what Israel's going to do. By the way.
So Hamas is serving foreign agendas. We're talking about Iran, and we're talking about Russia lately. Hamas serve those parties, and Iran pays them close to $1 billion annually.
Crazy.
Iran is the real master in this picture. Hamas does not serve the Palestinian people. Hamas serve Iran. Those are the masters of Hamas. So,
and for those like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Do I have to keep saying the co-founder's son? He was a Hamas fighter.
Their lie about nationalism, that they are a national movement and they care for the Palestinian people. Look at them. They are using Palestinian people as a human shield. Yep. We need to free Gaza from Hamas. Yes. This is what Israel is doing. It's doing the Palestinian people the greatest favor by bringing Hamas down. Then the Palestinian people, they just want to live a normal life. They don't want missiles in the most populated area on earth to be launched from under hospitals, from crowded areas. and going suicidal and endangering the life of the entire population of Gaza. Who does that? You gotta be insane to do such an operation.
Right.
And
you're talking about your family that your family used to believe that, and you used to believe that that was okay. And
this is his family he's talking about.
You don't. Mosab, now, quick exit question. Around the globe, and even in our capital, people are protesting for Hamas. They're saying for the Israel to back off and stop with the airstrikes. Well, what do you say to those protesters? What is about their mindset?
Okay, listen, I cannot convince the entire world of truth. Right now, people are emotional. They hate to see children dying. Even though, Hamas is killing the people at the hospital, and we have evidence of that, but they still blame Israel. People can blame whoever they want, but now we have to concentrate. We have to focus. Public opinion is very important, but unfortunately, it's not the time to win the public opinion. It's the time to win the war against the most brutal terrorist organization living today, And later on, when people look back at the situation, they will understand what we were doing. We should not be afraid of the public opinion. We have to explain as much as we can.
And you're doing that.
But now we have to concentrate on our goals.
So that is the son. Absolutely crazy. His dad was the founder, one of the founders of Hamas. So let's look a little bit on him. And again, as they're saying, people are protesting in support of Hamas, which is mind-blowing to me. How do you support a terrorist organization? And I want to remind you guys, during 9/11, these people were celebrating. There's a video of Hamas celebrating 9/11, the people in Gaza celebrating 9/11. And here we are supporting this terrorist organization who wants an Islamic state. So here he is, Mosab Yousef, nicknamed the Green Prince, 1978, a Palestinian who worked undercover for Israel Internal Security Service from 1997 to 2007. So he became a spy for Israel after this. Valuable resource. I want to talk about him converting to Christianity. Look what it says here. When Yousef was growing up, he wanted to be a fighter. That was, according to him, what was expected of Palestinian children in the West Bank. And a lot of people are saying, well, Hamas is not in the West Bank. But literally, he grew up in the West Bank, and his dad was the founder of Hamas. Yousef was arrested when he was 10 during the first Intifada for throwing rocks at Israeli settlers. And then he was in jail back and forth. He was in prison seeing people get tortured, which is why he knew he didn't want to be a part of Hamas. We saw that earlier. He talks about his espionage. I want to focus on his conversion. According to his story, Yousef met a British missionary in 1999 who introduced him to Christianity. Between the years of 1999 and 2000, Yousef gradually embraced Christianity. In 2005, he was secretly baptized in Tel Aviv by an unidentified Christian tourist. He left the West Bank for the United States in 2007 and lived sometime in San Diego, where he joined the Barabbas Road Church. In August 2008, Yousef publicly revealed his Christianity and renounced Hamas and Arab leadership, thereby endangering himself and exposing his family in Ramallah to persecution. Yousef has also claimed that his aim is to bring peace to the Middle East, and he hopes to return to his homeland when there is peace. And then look at this. Yousef stated that despite his conversion to Christianity, he's against religion and does not adhere to any denomination. Same. But look what he says here. He has stated religion steals freedom, kills creativity, and turns us into slaves and against one another. Yes, I'm talking about Christianity and Islam. Most Christians I've seen seem to have missed the point that Jesus redeemed us from religion. Amen. Religion is nothing but man's attempt to get back to God, whether it's Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism, animism, or any ism. Religion can't save mankind. Only Jesus can save mankind through his death and resurrection, and Jesus is the only way to God. That is a perfect summary of Christianity. It was religion that killed Jesus. It was religion that came and put him on that cross, and Jesus saved us, from religion. So it talks about more his conversion to Christianity, all that type of stuff. Very interesting stuff. Co-founder of Hamas becomes a Christian and is now speaking out for Christianity and speaking out against Hamas. So why wouldn't we take it from the source? It's very clear in this war, this is a fight against a terrorist organization. This is not the time to be a pacifist and say, oh, we just need this and we need this. These people need to be removed from the face of the earth, these terrorists, because if not, they're going to continue their reign of terror. They're going to bring it into the U.S. And if you haven't been watching the news, they're already saying everyone needs to be careful. Everyone needs to watch travel because of sleeper cells of Hamas all throughout the U.S., which is obvious there's terrorists here in the U.S. But we need to be praying against this demonic agenda. We need to be praying for this guy and other people that are speaking out against Hamas. And if you I don't even know what to tell you if you're for Hamas, if you're the preacher that was on my Instagram saying, oh, that's a military operation October 7th, which it wasn't. It was a terrorist attack. I don't even know what to tell you other than I'm praying for you because it's absolutely crazy. I just wanted to bring an update on what's going on in the war, give you guys this little testimony here of him becoming a Christian because I think it's amazing. Let me know if you like this video, if you want me to do more videos like this. We're live Monday, Tuesday, and sometimes Friday. Also, all of our content is free, so pray about becoming a monthly partner. You can do that down below or hit the join button on YouTube. Love you guys, appreciate you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.